these players, they can conjure up tries from anywhere. Anything can happen. Having said that, there's no doubt the battle is going to be waged in the middle, in the trenches. It'll be physical, it'll be brutal, the collisions will be violent. We'll watch, we'll cringe at the cruelty, but it's compelling viewing. You won't be able to look away. I think this game will only play out one way. It's a simple law of the jungle. Only the strongest will survive.
Welcome, welcome, in the words of the great Twitch streamer Braden Anderson. At the moment, you've just got the two of us. You've got the Panic Room back this week. Obi's off doing stuff. J-Bone's off also doing stuff. So you got the two best in the War Room, but obviously not the best when it comes to scores on the weekend. I know I didn't go great. What about you, Gill? How did you pull up?
I had my best score of the year, but it was still nothing to brag about. So I guess it shows how good I'm going as well. So we're probably just here for the banter this week. Not too much good advice coming from us, I don't think.
No, definitely do as I say, not as I do. Another bad week this week for myself. I said there was only could go up from here, and it turns out I can go back down. So I was about 80,000, and I went down to 81,000.
I actually went up this week, so I was happy with that, from 92,000 to 87,000. Fucking bull.
Ooh,
up 5.5. Thank you.
Watch
Here
out.
it comes.
The crazy thing is I scored 940 something points, and I still won 3 out of my 6 comps. So I don't know whether I just got lucky and played the right people, or I'm in some really shitty comps. But either way, I got in, and that's all that matters. For me, the big strugglers of the week, like a lot of people, captain again, stuffed that up with Turbo only getting 55, brought Dom Young in for a 30, Taylor May 27, Talakai moved to the back row for the Sharks, scored me 15, and then the real big problem there was Lukey Metcalf with a 2. So 4 weeks in a row, I've had somebody, the HI are injured. First week I had Pia Cora, second week I had Sammy Walker, I believe.
Simonson one week as well.
Yeah, Simonson was last week. No, Simonson must have been the week before. And then I had someone else injured, and now I've had now I've had Metcalf. So scores of 2. I think
the worst part is I have Metcalf as well, so I'm in the same boat with you this week, unfortunately.
And I think we'll get to that a little bit later on, because I think a lot of people are in the same boat as us, with like obviously injuries to the 5'8" position. We've still got injuries to Cleary, or he's still out. This week the Sharks on the bye, so Hines is out. So there's a few people getting around with absolutely no halves or playable halves. But as I said, we'll touch on it a little bit later. Your first 4 rounds, Gil, obviously not going well. Can you sum up your first 4 rounds? Is there a team you're replicating in the NRL at the moment? Would you say you're the Knights?
Oh, I almost would. A bit of a flash in the pan last year. Somehow I did all right. And then can't really sort out my halves. Been doing a lot of in and outs in the halves. A lot of players going down injured. Missing my big gun from last year.
Yeah.
Like in the Knights case, Dom Young. In my case, Fifita. Like Fifita's always my go-to to start with. He's been out. So yeah, I'd say the Knights actually. But stick solid. Like we're a late season team. So here we come.
You think you're on that 8-game run or something at the end, and all of a sudden sleep?
Probably need about a 13, I reckon. 13-game run should be
I've been looking, because I can't fix my team. My team's perfect. They're just not stringing together at the moment. But
not clicking.
I was looking at it, and all my competitions this year are playing the bye round, which helps a lot. So I've still got time to make it up. My team, we're definitely the Titans. I'm Desi Hasler. I've come in. I'm a great coach, but I've got all the talent. You read my 1 to 17, it's there on paper, but they just can't stick it together. I don't know who my team was.
You're just tearing them apart in the sheds, just fucking hating them.
Yeah, I'm ripping the shit out. I'm ripping them, and it's doing nothing, but I'm getting angrier and angrier. So we're sitting on the bottom of the table. We're pretty much counting towards next year, and people are looking to sack me already, but we'll hold on. Where my cables will be here.
I think you're still ahead of me, so Shows how bad I'm going.
Yeah, your Queensland Cup stuff. That's why. 'Cause you're not even in there.
Oh yeah, I'm the New South Wales Captain. I got
You're the
I got
Bears.
Jackson Hastings.
Not anymore. He's actually been promoted. So there's your first team.
Hey, good on him, bang.
So we've spoken about who's sort of been good, who's been bad. There's not too many big changes this week. There's a couple, and as we said, we don't go through full team lists. Important ones is the number one important name this week who's been named to play is Josiah Pahulu, making his debut for the Titans in Townsville, the ex-Ippy High captain. He's a lock. He can play front row. Only about 19 or 20, the kid. Really great kid. So make sure you're watching him. He'll come off the bench. Probably should have debuted last week. Would have been much easier for me to get there if it was at the Gold Coast. But he's making his debut this week. So that's the real big one. Other important ones is Feeder's on the bench, which is good, I think, for everyone because it means you don't need to bring him in yet because he's only going to get that 55 minutes, get that 55 points. Obi made us talk about Angus Crichton being named because he wants to talk about the Roosters all day long. And we'll touch on that one a little bit later on because I think he's a very relevant player. Otherwise, Hastings back in to the Knights, which is a help. They finally dropped Gamble, which I think is a good idea. Interesting one for the Warriors is obviously we touched on Luke Metcalf. He's got a broken leg, so he's gone for a while. But they've brought in Tamari Martin rather than Chanel Harris-Tavita. Huge one for myself, and I'm sure a lot of other owners, is RTS has gone back to the centres, and Tang Tuapiki is not come back in the team after he's heading off. They've actually brought back in CNK Shans, Nickel Klokstad
straight back in,
which we'll get onto that later because I'm not very happy with it.
To be honest, I think the biggest one of the week is Cameron Munster finally coming back.
Yeah.
5'8" has been a fucking wasteland a bit. So if Cameron Munster can start putting some scores on, there's another player you can consider.
It will be very interesting to see how he actually does come back because I wouldn't.
Yeah, probably slow, but yeah, keep your eye on him.
Yeah, I think it'll be a bit slow, take a little bit of time.
Or just big dick it and just go him this week, I reckon. If
you got no Metcalf,
just get Munster in.
It is a lot of money, but who knows? Like, as we said, last year, it wasn't this late, but it was around this time. I think about a round or two before. Hines obviously came back from injury and came out with like a 150 or 180. Everyone's like, oh, I'm just going to wait and see how he goes. So maybe you could do that against Munster there. Good thing there as well as Hughes is back, which is very helpful. So you got two huge strike powers come back in. I think it helped Pappenhausen big time, but Munster's 728,000. So it is, you got to find 230 about or 225 to go Metcalf straight to him. But if you can do it, go ahead. So we'll touch on, as I said, like those halves later on because there's a few questions around and I think it's pretty important. I'm sure you've already got a list of names that you're looking to sell or flick, and we'll touch on them in a second as well. We'll go through our captains, we'll go through our questions. But at the moment, I think we want to look at our top 10 buys and sells for this week. So it's a pretty easy list, and as we go through these ones, obviously they're going to be relevant, and we'll talk about whether we're bringing them in. They're sort of also the guys that we want to be looking at targeting over the next few weeks. Gil, without looking at the list, tell me who would be the most traded player this week. Let's see your Supercoach knowledge.
The young fucking Parramatta dude. Surely he's pretty close. I don't know. Blaze Talangi or something like that?
You know it's Blaze.
Yeah.
It is Blaze Talangi. He's 20% of trades are going to him. So about at the moment it's 17,000. It's going to get to about 20,000, which is about 18% of people are bringing him in. If they don't already have him, he's a bottom dollar cheapie. He's currently center wing only, but I'm sure he's going to get a 5'8" spot in the next couple of weeks because he's going to be in that position for a few weeks with Moses out. So far, he's had scores of 67, where he scored a try on debut, but on the weekend he had a 48, which is pretty decent, considering there was no real attacking stats there. He had a line assist, but 48. He's looking at making 75K this week, and that's only if he gets 35. He's going to get up to probably about at least 350K, probably more like 400K. And I think it's almost a have to bring in a $200,000 center wing like that.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe it's time to say goodbye to Burbo. Break even at 37. I can still hit that though. Yeah, but I think he's almost a must. Like when you know he's got that job security, looks actually pretty decent for a debutant. Like
Yeah,
playing like
he has
similar to
in the first few rounds. Like he got caught out against Turbo, which I think most people are going to. Apart from on the weekend, let's not talk about that idiot again.
Yeah.
And also Galvin got the better of him to set up that try. I'm not sure if you watched that game.
Yeah.
One of the best finishes of a game in recent memory.
That was good actually. Yeah,
it was quality football. Galvin's an absolute superstar. So if you missed out on him,
he's
are idiots, but you still got time. Obviously, he's been suspended for 2 weeks. But I think at a bottom price cheapie, do whatever you have to do. Downgrade one of these guys that either hasn't worked out for you, or if you've got enough center wings there, just I don't care. Find someone. Likewise, if you've got that Burbo there, switch him out to a center wing. Blaze Talani has to be in there. Sorry. Now, number 2 is one of your boys. Who's number 2 on the most traded in? The Gospel, some people call him.
Oh, mate, Pierce Paul, the Gospel.
Kai Pierce Paul. He's been brought in
baby.
by about 7% of people so far. He had a 50K price rise last week. He's actually gone up almost 100,000 from the start, but he's still looking at making. He's got a break even level 2. He's still looking at making another 45K this week. So he's gone 67, 65, and both of those have been without really any attacking stats. He's yet to have a line break. He's yet to have a try assist or anything like that. So he's probably looking at almost 50 or 60. 50, I would say, is almost his base. Do you have him? If not, is he have to?
I don't have him, and I wish I did because I'd talked him up so much. I don't know. I think he's. I don't know if he's a have to because I'm probably not even going to get him this week. But if you can fit him in, I don't know. I've just got bigger issues, mate. When you're sitting down in like the top 85%, like I don't know.
Yeah. And I get that because I'm in a similar boat where I had some changes I was already looking at. I'm going, yep, these are my guys. But now I'm like this. If this guy's making 50s or 60s, only 445,000 still, he's going to make a little bit more money. The draw, I actually really like the draw for the Knights coming up. They looked a bit better on the weekend. I think Hastings back there helps. The only negative to it is if you're trying to make up those spots, you can't go with the crowd the whole way, but at the same time, you can't also just pick 17 random dudes that no one else is going to have. So,
yeah, this is true.
Yeah,
sometimes you just have to miss out on the ones that are like, but you can't get the same like the big ones each week.
Yeah.
Like you have to miss out, and sometimes I don't know, you just miss the boat on them, and another cheapie you'll get over other people. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's a great point because I was looking at it and I've gone, shit, I need to change my trades. I need to get KPP in this week. Yeah. And then I thought, okay, if I miss out on him, who else can I get? And a very sad thing, Joe Chan's not named for the Storm again this week. Had the infected hand the other week. They've gone with Sean Bloor and Eli Katoa. You can get the price difference at the moment is about 100 between Bloor and KPP. But Sean Bloor still could do whatever, and he doesn't have a price rise coming for another week because he's only played the one game. Sorry, Sean Ball's 445, so he's the same price as Kai Pierce Paul. So if you miss him, especially with Hughes and Munster back in there, then all of a sudden you're going next week. Okay, there are other options there.
Yeah, true.
People that know me know that like I like a sure thing. I like that $1.10, $1.20 favorite. And I'm back at home. I hope it gets there. And KPP sort of feels like that, but maybe this time I'm going to go. I'll miss out on him. I'll go for someone else and Death Ride, the short price favorite there. But I don't know. We'll see. The next one, we'll go through these next ones a bit quicker unless you got something there.
No, I was just going to go into the next one. Who I thought it was.
Who you reckon?
I'm going to say, what is it? Bostock.
No. Because I think a lot of people already have him. He does have a great break even. It looks like he's going to make bulk money. Next one is the reason why I get to make one trade from Jay's team this week. My boy, the Kummel, Justin Olam. He's been traded. So he's been traded in a fair bit. He's only 423,000. If you didn't catch last week's episode, I told everyone to get him. I told Jay he was going over 50, and with the 2 tries, he ended up scoring 81. So his first 2 weeks, he's gone 84, 81. Obviously, 2 tries isn't great for an 81, but still he scored 3 tries in his first 2 games at the West Tigers. He has a break even of negative 40, so he's looking to make a fair bit of cash this week. The only negative I have for Justin Olam is he plays Dolphins St. George. It's actually 2 pretty good games. The only negative I have for him is he plays on Lockie Galvin's side. So now that Galvin's going to be out for the next 2 weeks, if you missed that, he's got done for the hip drop. So he misses the next 2 weeks, which is a huge loss for the Tigers because he's almost been their best. I think Olam doesn't probably have as many attacking stats, and he could definitely drop down a little bit. Having said that, he gets involved in attack. He makes his meters.
I just think for that game, like he scored 81, but the Tigers players, like it was like 66, 60 with the next best. Like it was a low scoring game. So I think taking 81 in a game that probably that fucking average was like 45. So
yeah. So he is there. He is also cheap, and we'll get on to who I think a lot of people are trading him out for a little bit later on. There's someone on the Penrith team that people letting go of, and I don't blame them. Rushing through the next couple, and most of them make sense. We've got the Hammer next. I was lucky enough to bring him in last week. He scored 100 and something. He made 90K last week, and he's looking to make another. He's got a break even still -1, so he's still going to go a fair bit up. So he's going to be over 700,000 by the end of the weekend. Very happy I went him. Jackson Ford, other one, he made
a little smoky, Jackson Ford.
Yeah, he did well. He scored 104.
Yeah,
that's with a couple line breaks. He also scored a try, but otherwise he's been scoring those 60s.
And you at 60s. That's not bad. If he didn't go 56 grand, last week, like he was priced well, but now that big fucking 100 shot him up. But he's only a young fellow. He's obviously this is maybe his 3rd or 4th season of first grade. Like they get better each year.
He really burst on the scene last year. I remember everyone was getting him when he was a lower price.
When your basement, for sure. But
again, I think the loss of his 5'8", so Metcalf's gone, which I think will hurt him because that's those two play on the same side. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes now with Tamari Martin in there. But
it didn't seem to hurt him on the weekend, but that's the only thing.
Yeah, that's very true. I guess he did.
Yeah.
We were watching it together, and he played about 2 minutes in the half.
Yeah.
Next one is your boy Bostock.
Yeah, Bostock. Yeah.
I'm assuming most people started with him. He's made 90K already. He's got a break even of -41. I very happily played him on the weekend. He's looking to make another they've got him projected for 60 points this week. If he scores 60, he makes another 86K. So he's gone from close to a bottom dollar cheapie. Now he could be worth 500,000 in a couple of weeks, and that's when you can flick him on. If you don't have him, he's definitely not a have to, but hopefully you're one of the smart people that got him at the start of the year. You didn't trade him out already. You got him?
No, I don't actually. So
this explains why you're at 87,000.
Yeah, makes sense actually. Now that I think about it. You got an 84. 84, it's not great, mate.
Yeah, he was worth nothing. He was worth 300,000. He outscored my $700,000 Captain Turbo.
Yeah,
easily.
What do you think? Is it too late now with a -40 odd break even? Is it too late if you've missed him?
It's not. I think there's definitely better options there. At the center wings, like you go Blaze Flungy over him every day of the week. We spoke a little bit off air. Surprisingly, the Dolphins are actually on top of the table at the moment, which is crazy to think. But they've been helped with games against St. George, the Gold Coast, so that's where Bostock scored well. They got the Tigers this week, who've actually been really good in defence, but I think losing Galvin's a big loss for them, so it'll be interesting to see how they go. But then the Dolphins come up against a couple. They got Bronx, Parramatta, they got the Cowboys in there, Manly, so they've got a bit of a harder run. So I think depending on what happens this week, it'll be interesting to see if we hold him for a little bit longer because I reckon he might be close to capping out soon around that 500, 530 mark, and that's when you can trade him to someone else.
Yeah, for sure.
Or hopefully they keep going well and Finn's up all year as we always are, and see how we go.
Yeah, I'm still very Finns heavy, but we just don't talk about it as much. They tried to sue us, I think, last year.
The Finns. Yeah, I never really liked the Finns.
But going on your own personal team, who's been your best that's impressed you the most in your own side?
I hate them all. This is proper Des Hasler stuff here.
Who's your coach's pet?
I was lucky enough to start with Terrell May. I started with Appy Coruscant. I started with Joey Lussick, who's actually fallen off a bit, but those three really helped me. Started with Pappenhausen, who played well last time. But then otherwise, I don't know. The rest, I brought in these people, and they just haven't. The weekend, I brought in Dom Young. He scored me 30. The week before, I brought in Talakai. He went okay. The weekend, he scores me 15. And the guys I'm just going to hang on to.
What happened with that? I didn't watch that game. What happened there?
So Talakai was he playing bench. Sorry, he played second row. And then he ended up going off probably about 30 minutes or 20 minutes to go in the second half. I thought, they'll sub him off for a bit and he'll come back on. But he just did nothing. He did nothing the whole game. He barely got involved. If he had been out in the centres, he would have been sweet. But they went, they played him at second row because Britton Nicker was out and they also had a couple other injuries in the forward pack. So I was like, yep, sweet, he can do that. He's played there before and he's just not a second row anymore. They just didn't use him at all. They got the bye this week and he's definitely a hog because when he's at centre, I like him. I'm more than happy with him. But if he goes back to second row, he won't be lasting very long in my team, I'll tell you that much. I don't think he lasts very long in that team. He's that bad. Anyway, let's not bring up my score again.
Yeah.
The last few aren't too important. They're guys that I personally wouldn't be bringing in, but they are around. And it's the likes of Pappenhausen's in there. Thomas Flegler, who's actually been really good since going the Dolphins. Sean Johnson, as well as Tom Dearden. So the Sean Johnson one's not a surprise because we said a lot of halves are gone. I think Tommy Dearden's in there because people have lost Metcalf or they've lost Galvin and they've brought him in there. I'll just touch on Ryan Pappenhausen. If you do want to trade a fullback, Pappenhausen's break-even is -6. So he's actually looking to make a fair bit of money over the next couple of weeks because he's had his last round. He had the 132. So his 30 is going to drop out this week. He's got 132 and then a 78, which is pretty nice.
And we know how much Melbourne love playing Brisbane, so
especially now with Munster and Hughes back.
Yeah.
It'll make a huge difference.
Could be anything.
A huge difference. Did I ever tell you the time I beat Jerome Hughes in the Queensland Cup Grand Final?
Not bad.
I always bring
remember that one?
I see him, which is, I don't. I'm sure he does. I'm sure he's sad.
He's like, you're that guy. I remember you snoring on the field.
Yeah, he was crying on the field. He had a shocker, honestly.
He had tissues. You had a pillow.
Oh, he had it's probably the worst game I've seen someone play in a grand final. With how good he was, he absolutely bottled 3 tries.
Oh, mate, the yips. He got the yips there. Well,
and look where he is now. He's not even hosting the war room.
Exactly. He tried to get in, but we didn't let him.
He said, no, you're going to go to Melbourne. Most traded out this week is Tane Tuapiki, Taylor May, Luke Metcalf, Burbo, Piakura, Hosking, Jamin Salmon, Zach Laybutt, Nathan Cleary, and Joey Lussick. So we touched on Tuapiki already. Unfortunately, Chance is back. I could understand making any of the centre wing trades to Blaze Talangi. Personally, I think I'm going to hold him for a few weeks, see how CNK goes. I'm hoping for a CNK injury. My boy Tane comes back in pretty quickly.
Yep, nice one.
Do you have Tuapiki, Taylor May, Metcalf, Burbo? I know you got 2 of the 4.
I got Taylor May. I've got Metcalf. I got who are the other ones? Burbo. Got him. All the other ones.
Okay. You don't have Tane Tuapiki, I'm guessing?
No, I don't have Tuapiki.
Yeah. So the rest, Hosking's down there. Hosking got a HI on the weekend. Unfortunately, because of that, he scored pretty low. He only got 32. He's out this week. I can understand people trying to move on from him.
Well, yeah, that's not bad. You would have made a bit of money on Hosking if you went there.
Yeah, if you started with him, he's made 100K. You would have hoped to do a little bit more at the end, but he's done all right. Yeah. Tuapiki and Taylor May, I'm assuming they're all just going to Blaze Talangi. Luke Metcalf, you've got him. What are you doing with him this week? He's out for at least 6 weeks. It's a broken tibia. It's probably looking more probably 8 to 12.
Because I have Lachlan Galvin as my other 5'8", I'm definitely trading Metcalf. And just for how bad the Titans are going, I think Tommy Dearden's the man this week.
Yeah, he could go big. It's not the worst idea.
So
what is it, about 100,000 different?
Tom did in 6:21. I forget what Metcalf was.
Yeah, Metcalf's 500, so it's
Yeah, Metcalf
thereabouts.
505. Yeah. So and I had a bit of a war chest, so I'm thinking about going that one.
The
And like I was thinking maybe going Big Dick and maybe go Munster, but nah, I don't know. I'm already I'm already in the trenches. I don't know if I can try and Big Dick my way out.
that's the only way to get out.
Yeah, that's true. Start
No one
shooting
has
everyone.
ever got out of a trench with a small dick. That's a fact. You look it
Mate, no,
up.
you get on the
I know
back.
my
You get
World
on
War
back.
One.
You get on the back of the other big dick guys. So you find out what the other big dick moves are happening, and you get
So
on
you're
the back.
saying you're gonna
Or you
start
wait for
riding
someone
the
to
big
rescue
dick.
you.
You're gonna ride the big dick out off the
You
trench.
wait for one of your players just to rescue you. You get a 200 or something 1 week when you captain them, get you out.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's not going to be Turbo. We got some questions about this bloke a little bit later on. I think it is important. Taylor May, after a great start, so round one, he looked good. He scored 67. The next week, he scored 53. And then since then, it's been 30 and a 27. So the frustrating thing is, and I know against the Broncos, I think he had like a HIA issue. So like he only played 66 minutes there, but he only missed 14 really. His involvement is well down. So on the weekend, he had 9 hit-ups. Against the Bronx, he only had 7 hit-ups. The 2 weeks prior, he was averaging about 15 to 20 hit-ups, and that's when he actually scored well. I know people have said against Parramatta, they just kept going Isaac Tungo because that's when my boy Simonson got knocked out. So they had Kelma Tuolangi, I think, in the centres, and he was just getting run through. And then the following week against the Broncos, we had Reece Walsh get his face smashed in, and they had to move Cobbo to the fullback. And again, they moved Pierre Cora, I think, out there, or they moved someone out there.
And surely that head clash would have rattled May a bit. Like, surely you can't play the game at 100% after copping that sort of head clash.
But the scary thing is, on the weekend, when they played the Roosters and they absolutely destroyed the Roosters, and that's the real reason Obi's not here tonight is because he's upset about that. He just wasn't involved. So in the back line, you give him the ball to, and this is without Cleary, obviously, but you give him the ball to To'o, who's just running through people, Isaac Tungo, who's just running over people. You've then got Taruva, who can run over people but just end up scoring all the tries. And then Dylan Edwards was just doing whatever he wanted. They just weren't giving the ball to May at all.
Yeah. I don't know.
They got Manly this week.
Unless you're doing really well, I think he's still a hold for someone in my position. Unfortunately, big issues in Taylor May.
Yeah, I don't know.
If
I will
doing
tell
okay,
everybody. What if you're doing okay, you can trade him.
Oh yeah, I feel like he could be a trade, but I don't know. He does, and Penrith are just one of those teams that any player can score 100 in the back line for them at any given week. So I'm hoping for that anyway. Fingers crossed.
He's got a break even of 76 this week, so he's actually looking to lose cash. That's what I'm scared of.
Yeah.
With these other centre wingers coming through, you could trade him to a Blaze Talangi cash 200,000 or something like that. What I will say is, at the moment, I'm planning on trading him out. And so far this year, I've done 3 boosts. I've made trades each week, obviously. First week, I traded out Adam Elliott. He scored 2 tries. The next week, I traded out Sammy Walker. He scored 2 tries. This past round, I traded out Phil Sami, and he also scored 2 tries. So whoever I trade out, bring him in. It's a guarantee. I'm going to go 4 from 4 here, doubles every week.
So you're trading out Taylor May, you said?
Taylor May.
I'm keeping him then. He's got a double for sure. Who
are
they playing? Manly. Oh, easy.
Manly. If you can find anyone else in Supercoach or fantasy football who's made in 3 weeks, have traded out 3 players, have gone doubles in each week, I'd love to know the stats on how many people have got doubles this year. I reckon it'd be less than 7 players, probably like less than 5 players. I've had 3 of them.
Yeah, that's good.
So it hasn't been good. The only other thing with May is they play Manly and they do have the bye. So I guess I can understand it. I don't know.
Yeah. I think I'll be holding May, unfortunately.
Yeah, we obviously got a lot of problems then if you're holding him. Here. All right. So we don't have too much more there. what we want to talk about now is who we're looking at over the next few weeks. 3 to 4 players that either you're looking to bring in, who you think are going to go well, or who you're just going to keep your eye on. So I mentioned last week we were speaking about Lachlan Galvin the other week. Like, make sure you watch him. Obviously, he's killed it, and very happy that I brought him in last week. Then likewise mentioned Justin Olam last week. Again, I'm not sure if I'm bringing him in this week, but he's definitely a watch. Blaze Talungi's done well, so he's another one. Who are your couple that you're either wanting to watch, you've already got them and you're keen for them, or you are bringing them in?
I think form player in the comp at the moment is probably Api Coruscant. So I'm flicking at Lussick this week. I think Lussick is peaked. Api Coruscant, I'll get him in.
Yeah,
I think the Tigers have got a lot more points, and I've got the Dolphins this week. So I think Api's just a sneaky, crafty little dummy half. They can just set up line breaks and shit. And yeah, I'm liking Api, and I'm also liking Hamole because I feel like he's just getting better each week. He just keeps looking more and more devastating. So I think his scores are going up. And my one that's just flying under the radar is fucking Isaiah Yo. He's getting better and better each week. I don't think he's gone under 60 odd. So he's pretty good. And actually, no, one more. I always have to say one of my own boys. Dane Gagai had the week off, but averaging pretty well. And no Origin to contend with, probably. I don't think they pick him. Gets those break tackles each week. And Newcastle look to use him because after losing Young, they sort of Gagai's a bit more of a strike now. So I think Gagai as well.
I don't mind it. I like that you mentioned a lot of players actually own. I'm sort of with you on Lussick. Like he had a bit of a shocker on the weekend. Some of his passes weren't going where they needed to. Thankfully, I picked Galvin over Lussick, so it was like a 50-point difference. Actually got me the win, and I am worried that he's about to peak. I'm probably going to hold off a week from trading to see how he goes one more time. But yeah, I don't disagree. I think, surprisingly, I was watching the weekend, and it felt like Appy was just missing a lot of tackles, and it's got here and he missed 5. But I think on the weekend we probably saw his base. All he did was tackle the whole game. He barely got any opportunities to run the ball, and he still ended on 45. So if your hooker's base is 45, you're pretty happy. Although I am worried that he probably gets named for New South Wales because he has been on fire.
Yeah, maybe that's. But I just think he's just way ahead of any other hooker at the moment. So
yeah,
he's pick up those points.
The as for the other ones, I've got Isaiah Yo, and he's just like locking in. He's been great so far.
Origin hurts him a little bit.
Your boy Gagai, yeah, it does. But your boy Gagai, I feel as if Gagai just flies under the radar every year. Like he always scores well, but no one ever brings him in.
No.
I do hope
he doesn't have the highest ceiling, but like he's not going to pull you 140 or anything. But yeah, he's sort of knock out a 70 most weeks.
He is expensive at the moment. But at the same time, he started with a 56, a 62, then a 94, and he only scored a try on one of them. So he is that very safe CTW.
Just had a viewer suggestion from Stephen Fattore. He's saying Jody Manu. Not sure if that's a new player. I haven't. Oh no, he's corrected himself with Joey, or maybe he's naming 2
Joey's
players.
mum. It's Joey's mum.
Jody. Yeah, she recommends Joey Manu, which obviously Joey Manu goes without saying.
Joey Manu. And I think you probably want to be looking at the draws at the moment. I was one of the many thousands of stupid people that brought in Dom Young on the weekend. He backed up his 150 with a 30 and somehow almost lost money. But he still got that 150 in there. So
that's still an average of 90.
I can feel in my
still average of 90 for the last 2 weeks, mate. I'd take that.
Yeah. He's got the dogs to speak, so we'll see how it goes.
Dogs
on your nights, we watched it together on the weekend, holding hands. You were a bit upset. I was pretty happy with my bet because it came off. But the Ponga looked really good on the weekend. I'm hoping that reflects and goes across the whole team. Ponga is someone that I'm definitely looking at bringing in even this week. They've got a pretty good draw coming up, I think, for the night. So Gagai's also obviously involved in that. But they go who they got this week? Sorry. Dragons, Roosters.
And
then it's Roosters. Bulldogs. And then the 3, after that, it's pretty good.
Bulldogs, Dolphins, Warriors, Tigers,
I think a few teams are similar to that, the Knights played the Warriors on the weekend, and they play them again like 4 or 5 weeks later. Likewise, I'm sure the Raiders have just played someone, and they again play them like in a few weeks as well. So I don't know who's doing the draw there, but like if you're getting a team to play the same team in a 17-team comp within 5 weeks of each other, surely you can do something. Yeah, again here, right? The Raiders play the Sharks on the weekend. They then play them again in round 8. So they play Para, Gold Coast, Broncos, back to the Sharks.
It's not bad.
So I don't know. Surely AI can come up with a better draw than that. But
have you seen that thing, just a little bit off topic, but about schedules? How was that husband and wife in America that used to
the baseball.
Oh, that's unbelievable. Like the NRL can't even
play
get
like
it together. So many games.
162 games a year,
and they have to take into
travel
around the country into account. Shit, that's impressive. So
it's what was it? Was it on the 30 for 30, or it was like it was an ESPN
something like that? Yeah,
short documentary. But it's awesome if you guys want to watch that.
Yeah.
So my ones that I'm looking at to bring in, DWZ has been there for a while. And I think CNK coming back is definitely makes me more interested in him because he does throw those cutouts to him. I do like Ponga, as I said, pretty keen on Ponga. Another one, and this is more of a wait and see how many games he plays. So on the weekend, we saw that Alex Johnson's going to be out with a hamstring injury for a while. So they're going to be need someone on the wing. At the moment, that's Isaac Thompson. But I just want to watch whoever's on that Rabbitohs wing. Even though they haven't been playing great, if you can get a bottom price cheapie there, it'll look pretty good coming up.
Or if you're like me, sorry to butt in, but if you're like me and have had Jacob Gagai since round 1, brought him in, he got injured, got taken out, but he's been sitting there, so he's number 22 this week. So come on, Jacob Gagai, you're in. That was the Gagai I was actually talking about, not Dane before.
He's got to start turning up training, I think. I'm just looking at all these cheap ones that hopefully are going to come through and do something. And one of those players is he got named again this week. So pretty interesting at the Titans. Phil Summey's gone down with syndesmosis, and they actually dropped Alfiana Khan Pereira. They got Harley Smith Shields and who's the other winger? I know him. He's got a last name that's Jojo Fafita. There you go. I am keen to see how David Fafita goes. As we mentioned him, he should actually lose cash over the next 2 weeks, especially if he keeps coming off the bench for like only 55 points. So to grab him in a couple of weeks at a reduced price would be great.
You just have to check out the draw, I think, with Origin coming up with a feeder.
Yeah,
pretty much a lock
and that's the problem.
Yeah.
For people that own Xavier Willison, unfortunately, he got dropped this week for Ben Takura, another huge guy from the Broncos. But James Schiller scored a double, I believe, on the weekend for the Raiders. He's at 238,000. He retains that center wing spot. Now, as I said, he scored a double, and he scored 77. So you take away that, he didn't score too much. But if you can keep scoring 1 or 2 tries at a very cheap price, he's definitely a watch. So that's the winger at the Raiders. But as we know, pretty much anything can happen at the Raiders with our old mate
Ricky
Sticky
just
there.
Fucking firing.
Did you see him abuse the whole team? He just abused the whole team. He's like, no one played well. I was disappointed with all of them. You can't tell me any of them played well. I'm going, yeah, I guess that's fair. They did have an 18-0 lead and got absolutely towed up.
Hey, that's the Faders, Canberra Faders, mate. Ricky's been the coach of them since they pretty much got that nickname, so you can't really blame them too much.
I think that was up there as one of the top fades I've seen.
Yeah.
That was an absolute fresh fade there that you can get.
Solid
all right, a couple more questions before we go into our trades this week, captains and questions. As Lewis says, up the milk. All right, my halves at the moment. Going into this week, I have one half that can play, and that's Luke Brooks. Nico Hines is obviously on a bye. I then had Galvin. I then had Metcalf. I've seen people that have, for some reason, were playing. They held clear and they held Hines, just assuming they were just going to get an AE this week. And they either had Galvin go down or Metcalf. Who are your current 4 halves, and what do you have to do this week to make sure you have enough players to play?
My halfbacks are Ben Hunt and Drew Hutchinson. And my 5/8s is Metcalf and Galvin. So, as I said earlier, I'll be flicking Metcalf, bringing in Tommy Dearden. And so I'll have Hunt and Dearden. And Hutchinson just rides the pine like most weeks.
Did he score okay on the weekend?
49.
Oh, you take that every
Yeah.
day, mate.
Break
Twice on
even a
Sunday.
7 this
Killed Blue Bruce.
break even a 7 this week, so Clutcherson's still got plenty of money to make.
And then the plan is not next week, but the week after, I'm assuming, bringing Cleary.
Yeah, because I've still got a bit of a war chest. Benny money to make still, so
Yeah.
I think I'll be within reach of Cleary if and when he comes back, but we'll see how they go.
Do you have plans to get Hines in?
I'm not much of a thinking ahead. Like I just like 1 week at a time. So I'm lucky if I read the team list, let alone the next fucking.
It's working out well. Well, yeah. What?
No.
This guy's playing? Yeah, no, Nicholas on a bye. Oh shit!
Didn't know he retired. Like, yeah. So, but no, I'll
Who are some of the great Sharks halves? Oh yeah, you keep putting ET. It was ET a centre?
I like
ET was a centre, wasn't he?
Mitch Healy back in the day. Adam Dykes.
Brett Seymour, I'm pretty sure was there before he went to Bronx.
Seymour played. Yeah,
he's up playing for Toowoomba now, I think. Old Brady Seymour.
Yeah, still playing. Good on him.
Sharks. I'll tell you, the best emblem I reckon in the NRL was the Sharks when they had like the
star behind it.
No, the whale. It was like a whale shark. It was awesome back in the day.
I haven't seen that one. I don't know that.
I'm telling you, I don't know. I'll get up on my phone and show it to my camera.
I like the shark with the star behind it, like the old Pepsi fucking jersey. That was
that was so bad.
That was the Nathan Long and Marty Lang days. That wasn't bad. But yeah, I can remember.
Here's the logo. Yeah, that's a. Oh, I guess it's not a whale shark, but it's a fat shark. If it's not. Yeah, that old star one is horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't mind it.
But you're not too bad, I guess. I think if you have Cleary, you got Hines, you got Galvin, you got Metcalf, you're in a bit of trouble. My plan at the moment is I've still got Brooks there, so Brooks will be my half this week. I'm training Metcalf, I believe, to Blaze Talangi in my centre wings. I'll then push Ethan Strange up to my 5'8", play Ethan Strange for the next 2 weeks until Galvin gets back, and then I'll just probably rock Galvin for a while. Yeah, see, tell me that's not a whale shark. Although it's a fucking shit thing. Look at that thing.
Yeah, it's a bit old school. Yeah, that one. That was like the old fucking 70s days, I think. Yeah.
And like I've been looking around. You can get like the old, like the Crushers jerseys and some like Western Reds and shit like that. Get the old school jerseys. Even though I didn't support any teams, they're fucking cool.
So they should have a fucking defunct club round where all supporters wear jerseys of teams that aren't around anymore, like the Bears and the Crushers and the fucking Rams.
Yeah, I wear my Deadly Choices shirt.
You can wear your Western Suburbs, mate. Get it out.
There you go. Jason Phillips says it's a gummy shark. I'm telling you, it's a whale shark. Maybe.
Yeah, might have been. Because I think that's when they couldn't win a comp, so maybe that was the gummy shark.
That was up until 2015, I believe.
That's when they juiced up the Sharks.
When did they win it? Was it 2018? 2018
Yeah,
they won it? 2016.
2016, yeah.
2015 was Cowboys.
Yeah.
2016 must have been Sharks.
Yeah, I think it was.
First Melbourne. Andrew Fafita very late. Scores it.
That was a good game.
But yeah, it was all right.
They were juiced up like the Sharks on Dick Blue.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's peptides if you only get caught a couple of years later.
That's it, yeah.
For people that have Hines and Cleary, you could have ride it out this 1 week. You'll need to cop an AE. I was very keen for the first 20 minutes of the game. I'm going, Cleary's gone. Hines is gone. I wanted to trade him out the week before, but Cleary obviously got injured. I'm still not sold on Hines and the Sharks, but him getting a 94 on the weekend was good. I just wish I had captained him. What we'll do now is run me through your trades this week. Then we'll talk captains. Then we'll answer some questions, and we'll get out here and go look at some more Sharks.
I've pretty much gone through mine, I think. Metcalf is gone for Tommy Dearden, and Lussick, he's peaked. I'm liking Appy too much. So Appy Coruscant. And then if I boost, it'll be one of my centre wings for Blaze Talangi. I think in Laybut is a hold, even though he's fucking B's really high, but they're playing the Titans. I think this is, if you're going to keep Laybut, this is the week to hold him. Cowboys can attack both sides.
Okay, who's your other hooker at the moment?
Marshall King.
Oh wow, so you're on two
Yeah,
two
so Marshall
decent
King's
players.
probably been one of my best performers all year, to be honest. Marshall King and DeBellin. This is about my team's going.
I don't want to talk you out of it, but there's another bloke who's starting this week who's a hooker and he's not that expensive.
Jaden Brayley, you reckon?
Yeah. I'm not saying bring him in this week. I think he actually might drop cash, but he's another one you want to wait and see over the next few weeks. He's back. He's not going to be playing 80. Obviously, he's still got Phoenix Crossland there. But if he gets back to like a 50, 60 minutes, all of a sudden you're looking at he doesn't look too bad.
Oh, yeah, definitely. What's his BE? 61, yeah.
So he's 330k at the moment. But like if he doesn't hit that in the next 2 weeks, or if he does, you can still downgrade Lussick. Even if Lussick loses a little bit of money, he's going to be worth more than Brayley is. And it's another one of those ones where you're like, okay, I don't need to move this week. Because touch wood, Lussick can't lose 100,000 in a week. So if he fails again this week and you see Brayley looks okay, then all of a sudden you can bring Brayley in and you're still going to be making a little bit of money anyway.
Yeah, don't mind that. But I think I'm going for points at the moment. But if you're looking for cash generation, definitely the Brayley option is not a bad one at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been going for neither. I've been going for no cash, no points.
just absolute duds. Yeah, so people reckon you'll fix it.
Get injured this week. Seems like I am. Your boy Laybutt, I think I said it if you want to go back and listen to early pods. He played the worst Dolphins team ever. He stood up Sean O'Sullivan like 2 or 3 times. He played the game of his career, that one game, and everyone's going, let's bring him in. He's got a break even of 92. The last 2 weeks he's scored nothing, pretty much. And it's not as if the Cowboys have struggled. I'd be a little bit scared. I'd probably be looking to get him gone. But as you said, if you're ever going to hold him this week's the week to do it. He'll drop a little bit of money, but he won't drop everything he's made. So I can sort of understand people holding on for him.
He'll go close. He'll go close to dropping everything he's made.
If you had to trade one out of him and Taylor May, who are you trading?
Funny thing is, I'm holding on to both of them actually, but I probably think May's more chance of getting back up. Like he might just Penrith change their game plan throughout the year, really get everyone people just score. So yeah, I'd probably if I'm trading one of them, I'm trading Laybutt.
Victoria wants to know when's the keg back.
I don't know when is it. I think they said 4 to 6 for him. What did he break a wrist or break a hand or something?
I think we're still looking at least another 4 weeks or something like that.
You're asking the wrong person for Tory. Yeah,
he doesn't know anything. He just supports whoever runs out.
I just turn up on game day.
Yeah, even here it doesn't have too much about it. You have a look at that while I run through my trades. At the moment, I've got Metcalf has to go, and as I said, I'm trading Metcalf to Blaze Talungi through some duels. Ethan Stranger moves into my 5'8" position. Before the pod, I was trading out Tom Trebojevic for Kalen Ponga, which might be crazy. I'm glad that Vittoria's asked the smart man. We'll get back to you, Vittoria. I'm telling you. At the moment, I'm looking at trading Turbo to Kalen Ponga. I think it's very much a case of he had sort of a bad week, and I'm over it, and I hate him. And I liked what I saw out of Ponga. Having said that, there's every chance that Turbo, he is playing Penrith this week, but there's every chance that Turbo could be the player that scores the double this week. So if you've got Turbo, you might get lucky. But for me, I really like the Knights draw coming up. I want to be on the Ponga trade, and I am worried that Turbo's he's had 280 so far, and he's also had 250s. For a few weeks now, they've been frustrated with how the Seagulls are using him. They're just not giving him the ball where he needs to get the ball. Against Parramatta for the first 20 minutes, they did that. They gave him early ball, swooping around the back, and he spread the ball, and he was getting line assists. He scored a try. He was doing everything. But Brooks is, I think, really hampering him. He's not out the back when Cherry Evans is there. On the weekend, he almost looked not injured, but he was just not in the game. So it's a bit scary. So I'm liking Ponga. So I think I'm going to go to Ponga. I'm sure that'll come back and bite me. My other one is I might be boosting again because there's no surprises there. I'm either going to bring in Kai Pearce-Paul, or I'm going to bring in Justin Olam, baby, for Taylor May. I told you it's Olam season. He had the double on the weekend. The only thing I'm scared about with Justin Olam, and I mentioned earlier in the pod, is without Locke and Galvin, I think the Tigers attack really struggles, and that's his same side. Whether
And
I hold off and get him in a week or two, but he's going to be up 50,000 or 100,000 by then. So I don't know.
But the way he shoots out the line, he's fucking going for a suspension for sure. Did you see that one when he fucking shot out, just shoulder fucking leading, and just missed him? Like, he's going to get suspended.
But mate, we've seen from Taylor May on Reece Walsh that that's play on, baby. You can't get in trouble for it. So the precedence has been sent. So that one I might reconsider. I could always trade. I need to upgrade my back row. So I'm going to bring in Kai Pearce-Paul. But as we mentioned, a little smoke in there. Sean Bloor, he's not getting the price rise this week. I could always just hold and wait. But
what about
I'm a very patient person.
The fella from the Sharkies, centre, Iro? Is he being named again?
No, they're on the bye this week. And then after that, the Cora comes back in the back row. Talakai should move back to that centre spot. So I think he'll probably play another 2 games throughout the year, but I just don't know if he's there. Captains, vice captains.
And I'm back to Pretori's question about the keg. He's back round 7, I'm reading. So that's against that's against the Bulldogs. So hopefully Marzu can get back for them.
And like that, as I said, Ponga, I like Ponga this week. Then plays the Roosters, which is a tough one. But then he goes in the Dogs, has a couple other good games, and if he got Marzu back, that's just definite.
And Ponga can score. Ponga can score well against the good teams because he's like the only point of attack for the night, so he can get a line break here and there, or a line break assist.
Yeah.
So.
He was good on the weekend, despite the rest of his team not playing great.
Tried his best.
And I think, and I don't know, I don't watch Knights nearly as much as you, but I hope that Hastings, Cog is their best chance, their best halves combination.
Yeah.
But
I feel like they're not giving them. You got to give the halves. You played enough football. Surely you got to give the halves more than one game together just to gel.
Have you team? I give my players.
Yeah, I know you like to flick, but surely you put your coach's hat on. Surely you need to give them more than one game to go. All right, maybe.
Yes, I agree with that, but not when one of those players is Tyson Gamble.
Yeah, true. The energy he brings that money.
He can keep his mongrel. Captains for me this week, I am looking at a VC Hammer and maybe Captain Ponga, but I think they're both like Friday night games. So
no, I think Hammer's later in the week. Hammer's Saturday, Ponga's Friday.
Sorry, Ponga's Friday.
The other way.
Maybe to Dom Young. Dom Young VC again against the Dogs into Ponga, but that means Ponga's done Friday night, which is a bit risque.
And you have to be very quick on it to know that you want to loop, because they're back-to-back games. I think Ponga's I think Ponga's a VC option. Dom Young also a VC, but not. I don't think you can go them together. I think the Hammer is definitely a captain option. Valentine Holmes I like against the Titans. Tommy Dearden,
Valentine
I also
Holmes,
like. I think
up in Townsville, they're $1.13 to win. The Titans are $6, mate. I think you have to chuck some money on that.
Yeah, for sure.
$6.
The Titans can
watch the weather.
Titans can come out.
Good point there, Phil.
I think even Jermaine Osako against the Tigers. I think Osako is always just dangerous against those sort of teams that can leak a few tries. But I think personally, I'm going to be putting the C on Dearden. I think the Titans are just looking awful. So BC Ponga, C on the Deards.
The C on Dearden. What? Obviously you don't have Val Holmes. What's Dearden's top score this year? Can you tell me that?
No, not this year.
Because he's been scoring tries, and I feel as if his score hasn't been that good. Like he's been scoring but not captain worthy.
He hasn't played the Titans yet, but
yeah, that's very true. I reckon the Titans show up this week. I don't know what the line is, but I'm telling you right now that Titans keep it within 18. His best score this year so far is
70. 70, that's not bad.
And you want to captain that? 70?
Yeah, mate. Look at his best scores of all time, but 179 against the Tigers, mate. That was when they're really shit. So You tell me.
That's when they scored like 80 points. They smashed
100
the
got 118
Cowboys
in his career. He's got 109,
Mm.
mate. Dean can score hundreds. He's just swarming into this season, mate.
There you go. You got an absolute genius backing you up here, man. This is probably going to make you not do it.
Oh,
Dean to 2-up this week against the
oh,
Titans, and then he changed
Jesus,
it to
Sarge.
ton. But he also
Yeah.
spelled ton wrong. So that's who you're working with. That's why you're at 87,000.
Yeah. Nah,
Trust your boy Ponga. I'm telling you, trust
No,
your
but
boy Ponga.
like
You
in
didn't trust
Sarge's
him last
defense,
week.
was it Sarge last week telling us that Captain Gutho, and then Gutho got 100?
I don't know if it was him saying Gutho season. Someone was, and we apologise for whoever it was that we didn't give you a shout out. But you know who you are.
You're like, yeah, you're pretty much Sarge.
Last thing we'll
Sarge
get
is coming
to.
12,000 far. You see, just popped up.
Really?
Yeah, I reckon
There you
I'm
go.
at 12k ranked. I think that's on the fucking pedophile watch list though. That's still pretty good for him.
I'm top 10, baby.
Yeah.
Okay. Questions. Labour likely to actually do anything anytime soon, or should I punt him? That's from the Futura. I think we answered that one. I'm definitely team punt Labour. Gill's not.
Stronghold.
Yeah. I think you got to get him going. He's made all his money. He's not doing that again. But as Gill said, if he was ever going to do that again, it'd be this week. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. Like, he's gone up against Brian Kelly. I think it's 150th game this week. He's also going to go up against AJ Brimson. So he's going up against one of those two. I think, the Titans got 2 new wingers. I think they're going to come out really focused this week. They've just got pumped every week. I think they'll go all right. But we'll
2
see.
new wingers. That's going to change the team, you reckon?
Well, they got 2 new wingers. That's not going to change the team.
Unless you're bringing in the fucking 2 best wingers of all time. I don't think
they are, mate. Harley Smith-Shields and Jojo Fafita.
Yeah, I suppose. Smith-Shields.
He's finally done the axe, but we'll see.
Fafita sounds like Fafita, so.
Christian Piggott, with swapping out Brooks, Fermor, and Tuapiki, or May, either one out of those two, I can get in any 2RF and centre with Talangi. I can't decide on Manu or Holmes, with Olakuato or Murray, or pretty much anyone else. What would you be doing?
I've been singing the Cowboys tune, so I'd be going Holmes, and I mentioned Olakuato earlier in the episode, so I think that's actually not a bad combination.
You're pretty much set. You don't mind it. Holmes, I think, could definitely go well this week. He has been on fire this year. I believe they've got a bit of a harder draw coming up. So obviously this week's going to be very nice to them. But after this week, they go into Parramatta, the Sharks, Penrith. Then they go to the Dolphins, Titans again. Another one of those crazy ones where they play them in 4 weeks. But anyway, so they got a couple harder ones. I think Val's not a bad play. He's expensive, but I think he's definitely a good lock. And I don't mind your Olakuato shout.
I just think he just keeps looking more and more devastating each week.
Yeah,
and I think that could be part of Turbo's downfall a bit because they're hitting Olakuato at the front more than they're going out the back.
Just looking at the draw, and this has made me rethink the whole Ponga Turbo thing. But they got Penrith this week, which is obviously a really tough one. Then they go on the Warriors over there, which I think is another tough one. It's been pretty low-scoring games against New Zealand, especially over there. They then have the Titans, Parramatta without Moses, the Raiders, who have seen leak 30 points in 60 minutes. That one's for you, Jared Ulst. And then they go into the Dolphins. So they do have an okay draw up for the next 5 or 6 months. So
when's the Origin start? Round 11?
The major buy round's 13. So I'm guessing 13. It won't be till then.
And Turbo, he hasn't been injured this year, has he?
No, not yet.
So no one knows are coming anytime soon.
Yeah, well, he looked like he was injured on the weekend. He wasn't great. So, yeah, I'd be going Holmes and Olakuato. Next one's from the Sarge. VC Dom Young, Captain Tom Deard, and sound good. Also, when I take out this year's Supercoach title, I'll make sure I give plenty of credit to SC Stats for getting me the 50K.
And also credit to the War Room for giving good advice each week.
War Room, mainly the Panic Room. But Sarge, you're 12,000 or in the top 12,000. Gilly actually said Dom Young, Tom Deard, and you've claimed that the Titans are going to get done by 40 plus on a sunny Sunday afternoon. I don't know if that's going to happen, but
I don't mind
good
that.
luck to you. The Usman, thoughts on my trades: Levi to Grant Appy combo, Hines to Johnson, Salmon to Talangi, or keep Hines and trade Hutchison to SJ, VC Ponga, Captain Holmes this week? There's a bit going
I
on
think
there.
Harry Grant with Munster and Hughes back on deck and Pappy, like he scores his best when they're all in the side, which
Yeah.
is weird. You think they'd steal points from him, but it kind of helps his points.
Yeah,
But
100%.
I like JMK. What's Grant worth now? Has he dropped down the price?
A Grant Appy combo is pretty damn good.
Yeah, I don't mind
say.
that, but you Grant, you
And
lose for
I
Origin.
100% agree. Yeah, but you might lose both of them. But at the same time, as you said, like Grant is such a better player when he's got all these other players in there with him because they're getting the right, like the go on, they get quick play ball. He can then jump out. He's got all these people supporting him. When it's just him, all they have to do is shut down him and Pappenhausen, and then you're okay. So I think Grant definitely improves over the next month of footy. Whether he's lost money, you can tell me that part. For the rest of it, Hines to Johnson, Salmon to Talangi, or keep Hines and trade Hutchison to SJ. I think that just depends on whether you plan on getting Cleary back in 2 weeks and whether you want to run the Hines Cleary, or if you're going to sell Hines to Johnson, then you have time to trade whoever you need to, like Hutcho back to Cleary. So you can decide on that yourself. I don't mind VC Pong and Captain Holmes. I think would almost be the best you could do this week.
Yeah,
but definitely bringing that Blaze Talangi. Out of Sargent, is Blaze worth the trade? How long will he be around for? He'll be around for definitely the next 3 or 4 weeks. Moses out for 6 weeks, I believe.
And who else have the Eels got?
Well, he'll go back.
There's
a good chance he goes back to Senators. So,
yeah, true.
Because they dropped Morgan Harper this week, which is a very smart call because Morgan Harper's not an NRL player. And they brought in Bailey Simonson back to the centres. If they really like Talangi, they could end up just shifting back out the centres if he keeps impressing over the next few weeks as well. So he's definitely going to be in for the next 3 or 4 weeks. Touch wood, he doesn't get injured this week, but knowing my luck, there's a good chance he probably does. Give me 5 weeks in a row where one of my players got injured and screwed my round. Harry Grant's lost 37,000. His break even's 87 this week. He's at 712,000. So he's still expensive. But he's been he got a 49 and 260. Or two high 60. So he's not going too poorly. Jason Phillips, Levi will ton up. Has he done any well for you? You keep talking him up. I actually haven't seen anything from him yet.
53, 80, 60. Not bad. They've had their bye.
You're paying for him.
Playing the Tigers, Bronx, Eels, Knights.
In the 1 week, or was it the next couple of weeks?
Same week.
Just
got a quarter header. It's like King of the Ring. You just keep fighting on.
Jason Phillips has good record versus the Eels.
He's talking about Levi, I think. So I'm not sure if he's a bit of tongue in cheek there, but anyway.
I can't believe Levi scored again. Sarge, where did you boys land on getting Oldham in? Yes, no. Sorry, missed start of the pod. Yeah,
fucking hell, Sarge. You're a proper fucking fan.
It.
You dog.
But no, he scored well again on the weekend. He's got 84, 81. The only thing that scares me about bringing in Justin Olam this week is he's looked great with Lachlan Galvin on his side, and Lachlan Galvin's not there for the next 2 weeks because of his hip drop tackle. I'm considering still doing it, but I assume that he doesn't score great the next 2 weeks because of that. He won't have those attacking stats. Last question of the night is from one Ben O'Brien. Who's the cheap of the week, lads? Who's your 3 most traded in? Gus, Busser, Look, choose one. Yo, David, Fifi, Hop Goat, or Hamoli. Cheap of the week, have to Blaze Talangi. Blaze on. Yep. 3 most traded in. We touch on that. It's obviously Blaze Talangi. And then 2 more blokes. Kai Pierce-Paul was up there.
Olam.
Justin Olam's up there. So it's those ones there. Gus Bus, I think, is definitely a look. I think he's been named to start this week. So Tilly Tupinu, I think, has been dropped to the bench. Gus is another one of those ones. If you don't get in Kai Pierce-Paul, you can always wait. So Crichton's only worth 409,000. He's got a break-even of 75, which I'd assume he probably doesn't hit this week. Because he's got a rolling. He's had 28 and 18. That's because he didn't play much minutes. If he gets back to like a 60, even 80 minutes,
because his PPM's been all right.
Fine.
So if
he can score tries. If he drops another 5 or 10K, then all of a sudden I'd be looking to trade out like a Morgan Smithies to him or someone else, and you're picking up 400,000, even less, and he's that gun moving forward if you can hold down that position. So that probably
there we go.
really cements in that I don't need Kai Pearce-Paul, but big watch on Gus Bus. The scary thing is, though,
definitely
like
keep
the
a
Knights
wonky eye look on him.
halves, they just keep trading them in and out regarding their set. Like they had Saul Wong, and they had Tupanua, they got Nat Butcher, now they got Crichton there. His last question is, if you had to choose one out of Yo, David Fafita, Hopgoat, or Hamoli, who are you going?
I mean, if depending on the context of the question, but to finish the year with, I think Fifi. He's one of my all-time favorite Supercoach and Supercoach players. So I think I'll definitely finishing the year for Fafita out of those.
I had him last year for the first 5 rounds, and then I sold him, and he went hundreds for the next 7 rounds. So that was really good. I think this year I do want to own him, despite how bad the Titans have been. He's a wait and see for me. I'm not going to buy him anytime soon. I'm going to hope.
Yeah, he's not anytime soon, but if he's going for this week, I think a Mole out of those.
Yeah, Hopgood's actually been a big surprise to me. He's actually been killing it. He just keeps throwing offloads out his ass. And I've actually got Yo. So for me personally, I like Yo. I like the consistency. But by the end of the year, it's David Fafita. I said that was the last question. We actually got one more from the Futore. How did you go last week in the Oberg Cup, Gill?
I only won in one league, so I'm going to say I lost. Don't really look at the leagues too often. I just look at my shit score and go,
no point
but I'm guessing he beat me just by the fucking smirk on him.
No surprise.
Yeah, he beat me by fucking 17 points. Wong Hassel. Yeah, nice one for Torre. You're lucky Metcalf got injured and got a 2. Hold on, fucking smash your dog.
Next time we'll get him. But
fucking
make sure you're watching the games this week. It's actually been really good football so far. You got no idea what's coming with all these.
It's been a good season so far. I like it.
The only problem is it's absolutely stupid Shepherd calls. But Shepherd, great band. We saw them in Vegas. Big fans. Say Geronimo.
What about Timmy Zoo? You see that?
That was horrible.
Bloodbath.
Just the elbow. Oh. Good fight.
Great fight, actually. Can't believe one judge gave it to him.
I know. And by 2 or 3 rounds.
He was just wiping blood out of his eye every fucking 5 seconds. A poor bastard.
Reminded me of all your fights.
Yeah,
except you're on the ground.
Their blood. I'm wiping their blood off me, bro. Just squirting.
Hey, rest in peace, Gary Bertia and Team Julius Campbell. Panic Room will be back next week, maybe.
You like my Ponga doll?
Looks nothing like him.
Exactly like you look.